Stay tuned for Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas, a leading financial retirement strategist and the founder of Soutas Financial and Insurance Solutions, right here in Fresno. Every week, Dale discusses pressing financial topics of the week, ranging from reliable income strategies to our financial markets, including Social Security, tax strategies, wealth management, RMDs, legacy planning, long-term care solutions, and most importantly, how to make sure you have enough guaranteed lifetime income to retire your way with choice and dignity. From taxes to trends to total transparency, Dale covers it all. And now, here is Retire Your Way and Dale Soutas. Thank you for joining us. This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial right here in California. A wonderful program today. Real questions from real people just like you. You know, there's so much that's going on. You can watch the markets. You can watch the economics of what's going on. But what Dale does is help people with their specific situations. And today we're going to talk about how he's helping people untangle their knots to get to be and stay retired their way. We, of course, are not going to name any of the names or give away any of the players, but these are real folks, real situations, real questions, and real answers from your financial advisor, Dale Soutas. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
We'll let them in.
Yep, the crowd's excited. Dale, how are you this week?
I am doing fine. How are you, Spike?
Good. I always enjoy these. This is, these are real people's, and I think this helps people kind of connect the dots of either what they hear, what they read, or what they're researching on the internet. And hopefully sometimes these things will also apply to their own personal situations.
Mm-hmm.
You had a couple came in recently. They're a few years away from retirement. Why don't you tell me what you knew about them?
Well, interestingly, so when people first come in, we call that a discovery visit, and we just want to get acquainted and see what they're about, what they want their retirement to look like. That to us is most important, because once we know what you want to be doing in retirement, it helps us to start focusing on a plan that's designed for you, or how to make your money last, how to make sure it keeps up with inflation and all that fun stuff. So this couple still are in their early.
What happened to them already? They just came in a week ago.
They were in their early 60s, and today they're still.
Okay, good. Early 60s. Great time to be.
Yeah, and they're in a situation where he'd like to retire in a couple years. She's looking to keep working for another 5 years, and so one thing on the initial visit, again, like we preach in the show and so on, tell people when they call in and ask about, sitting down with us, we say, look, we want to get acquainted with you. Most important is your goals and things you want to be doing in retirement, whether it's, even moving away or traveling more, whatever it is, all those fun things you want to do. And you don't necessarily have to bring your statements in. We don't have to get overly personal. We don't need your account numbers, Social Security numbers. Just get us in the ballpark. And what was fun is that, she says, well, I think my retirement account, I think it's a 401k. And she says, well, I think it's about $400,000. And they have a lot of other savings, but most of their savings is tied to different employer plans, 401ks and stuff like that.
Sure.
It could be a TSP, could be a 403b, whatever. So we call that's a tax deferred account. They've done well saving up a tax bomb, as I call it, because in retirement, every penny you take out of those accounts goes on top of your other income. So as we sat down again for, just kind of mapping out their plan, they gave us more specifics. And she didn't have $400,000 in her retirement account. It was over $600,000. So, that's a good problem, but still, which triggered, as I'm looking at the whole picture and their income and so on, the tax rates they're at now that, U.S. is in the third lowest tax rates in their history, we coached them, why not start now? Just getting, find out first, do your employers offer a Roth 401k or a Roth 403b, right? Number one.
Yes.
And do they match into those? They've got enough tax-deferred savings. It would be nice to have more savings that when they retire, they're not worried about Uncle Sam, getting a chunk of it right off the top.
Hmm.
So I encourage them to, to start checking into the Roth versions. Do the employers offer the matching amounts in those as well? They were actually, far exceeding the match amount. I think one employer offered 4%, the other maybe 6%, something in that range. But they were putting far above that. So, but if they put if they put the 6% in, they get that free money, which is great to do. I mean, there's nothing better than free money, as hopefully people realize that. So when you have a company that will give you free money on top of what you put into a retirement account, and preferably if they'll do it into a Roth, you have more tax-free money to use down the road. But that matching money is free money. And I ask
Hmm.
people regularly, so what's better than free money? And they look at me and I go, more free money. So anyway, so that would be the best. I mean, sometimes we inherit things from loved ones, and that a lot of that could be also free money as well. You tax free, and obviously you didn't earn it; it's free. They said, "Hey, I love you, and here's our house, or here's these accounts, whatever."
Hmm.
Okay, but in this particular case, I came down to the moral of the story is don't wait until months or just a few years before retiring. Pick our brains, put us to work for you. It doesn't cost anything to see how you're saving now. Is there a better way to be saving for your specific goals down the road and for the sources of income that you're going to have? And how do we minimize those taxes down the road? How do we also cover long-term care without having to buy long-term care insurance? A lot of people think that's the only way to cover,
Hmm.
what if I need to be in a nursing home, but better yet, how can I pay for in-home care, and these long-term care policies will pay me X amount of dollars a day if I need help at home. Well, great. But what if we can build that into your income plan and you're not paying something that, what if you never use it? That's money out the window. Whereas this income, if you don't need it, you can put it into your savings. It still passes on to maybe your favorite brother Dale, or well, maybe your kids and stuff like that.
Hey, hey, hey.
But
Yeah.
anyway, point being, know your options, know how to make sure things are dialed in for you, not just focused on how to make your money grow. That's good, but how do you make it work for your future in retirement and last, uh, you know, and keep up with inflation, all
What
those good things.
many great things about this. First of all, I think you said he and this couple was about a couple of years away from retirement. She about 4, 5, 6 years away from retirement. And by coming in a little bit before your retirement, there's some adjustments that you can help them make. Creating possible tax-free income for later, considering what some of the healthcare solutions can be. Here's also a great thing with them being, over the age of 59 and a half. You were talking about long-term care possibility solutions, tools, other things we can use. At 59 and a half, there's this magic age of the in-service rollover. Do you also want to take not only, hey, let's take a look at Roth, let's take a look at what we're doing inside with the investments, maybe even possibly rolling some of it out? Did you see, or are you waiting? Is that going to be like a second meeting? Say, hey, bring in those statements so we can take a look at it and see what we actually want to do with it. You want to review those portfolios they're using inside the retirement accounts at work?
Well, it might be a wise thing. Yeah, an in-service rollover is allowing you many times to roll some of your 401k, 403b, TSP, over into an individual retirement account that you can structure, in a variety of ways. So it may be something that we use, but like this couple, we already had the rough draft of their income plan, but we obviously had to tweak it once we saw exactly what they had in their various accounts. So, and that was a good problem. I mean, it was quite a bit more than what she thought, and so. It's just when we sit down, when you're comfy, you could share more of the actual statements, but a lot of times people know basically what they have in their account. So it's okay initially if we sit down and okay, approximately what do you have here? What do you
Hmm.
have there?
Hmm.
And we can do, start a rough draft of your retirement income plan. And we don't charge to do that. We could, but I don't want to and I don't have to. So we don't charge for that service.
How do you create tax-free income in retirement? You do it with advanced planning. How do you afford to have things like long-term care coverage that might come from your own savings instead of having to rely on the state or a county? It comes with advanced planning. The great thing about this couple right now is coming in at least for her, about 5 years beforehand, a couple of years for him, is that we can make some adjustments. You don't have to just wait to do your retirement planning the month that you feel like walking out the door, or, you have to wait until, I like to say is, as all the tread is off of your tire going, you know what, that's it. I've had it. I want to get out. I'm going to go to this office and see, did I save enough? How do I turn it into income? Because sometimes there's not a lot of changes that we can make. Now we can still do things like Roth conversions and so forth, but it's also a good idea those few years beforehand to make sure that you're not taking too much risk with your retirement accounts at work. So how do you protect yourself from something like a 2008 or a 2000.com bust? It's by taking a look a few years ahead of time. So if you would like to do that, a couple of different ways to do so. You can go to our website and schedule a time there at Soutas.com, Soutas.com, or you can just call us right now. We got folks who are standing by. They'll schedule a time for you. No cost, no obligation. 833-856-1382 is that phone number. That's 833-856-1382. More Retire Your Way with Dale right after this.
Do you know how you'll generate income from your investments along with your Social Security in retirement? In our opinion, it's never too early to start the income planning process for your future. An income plan can help you work towards creating a steady stream of income to support you throughout your retirement years. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Take control today and start income planning for your retirement. Call the team at Soutas Financial so we can help you design a complimentary written income plan to help you live the retirement you've always wanted. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Will I run out of money in retirement? That's a hard question to answer if you've never been retired. How do you grow your investments without taking too much risk, but also considering what you'll pay in taxes? Should you convert your tax-deferred accounts into Roth accounts for tax-free growth later? Don't forget about inflation. Instead of questions about your retirement, turn to answers and solutions. From Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial. Call and ask for your own complimentary retirement solution review. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382 for your complimentary retirement solution review. Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. Today, real folks, real questions. And by the way, I want to let our listeners know, as we talk about people's situations where folks have asked Dale and his team questions, we do not use names. If we use names, we use fake names. We'll only use first names. We are not sharing any information. We do not want to air anybody's dirty laundry out there. But we do feel that by talking about real examples, it helps our listener base understand maybe their situation. So just please know if you ever call in or anything like that, we protect all of your names and your information. We just want to make sure that folks are getting all the education they possibly can through real folks and real answers. So
it's different concepts. It's different, things that people are hearing, and it's interesting sometimes what we come across.
Well, and I'll tell you the truth, Dale, because one of the things, and I know what they're doing with this, I'm sure our listeners see this as well. If you open up Yahoo, if you open up MSN, if you ever clicked on any financial articles on, how to retire, usually up on the top will be a clickbait article. I see it almost every single day. It's like, I've got $1.4 million. Am I ready to retire? Like, okay. Who are you? Are you married? What do you spend every week?
Right.
But they're clicking on you, and I know that they're taking you over to, an advisory kind of firm, and they're just trying to collect information from you and get you to click on their butt. And they're great, but these exact examples without using people's names, I think hopefully will give better clarity to folks. For instance, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you remember I told you a year and a half ago, at the high-powered rocket event we had. We hosted a national event. Well, I had my logo painted rocket, 8 foot 8 inches tall,
Wow.
standing
Uh-huh.
in front of my little Easy Up, and we had our Retire Your Way tablecloth on the table. And the president of our local club came up, and he lives out in the Bay Area, and he says, "So, do I need 2 or 3 million to retire?" And I laughed. I mean, not to be mean. I just say, well, I don't know because I don't know what you need to, pay the bills. Obviously, you have an expensive hobby, more so than I spend for it. So we need your whole picture before I can
Hmm.
coach you on. I don't look at I got this lump of money and here's your budget. No, we
Yeah.
say what's your budget and how can we make your money work and last and keep up with inflation and all that
Yeah.
other stuff.
Even
So
even more specific for you, yeah, besides the word budget, what are your expenses? Maybe
exactly.
maybe the house is paid off for them. Maybe he's married. Maybe he's divorced. Maybe he's got a house here in California. He's got a place in Nevada. Likes to go skiing. They Airbnb for a month. I mean, what are the expenses? So when
Yeah.
people ask questions, or I see those generalized articles, I've got X amount. Am I ready to retire? It's like, wait a second. We need to really get to know the person. So, for instance, there was a person who was at one of your live events recently, mid 70s, I will say 74, 75 ish, in that ballpark. Works very part time. I think it was a day or two a week.
Yeah, one day a week.
And okay. And someone who was not the breadth of what you do as a full service holistic firm, somebody had recommended to put about $100,000 of their money into an immediate annuity for life, going to pay them about, I don't know, about $6,000 a year. First of all, right off the bat, what is one of the problems with an immediate annuity for life? Because it's going to
Oh,
pay you
good
for
question.
life. It's going to pay you for life.
Well, I mean, it's guaranteed income for life, but there's many different ways you could set up an immediate annuity for so many years. Absolutely. So every penny plus some interest gets paid out, whether you're alive or not, and it keeps going to your beneficiaries. It could be 10 years or life. So if you live past 10 years, it's going to keep going. But I think this one was just for life, which means that the income would keep going as long as you're alive. But if you die a year later, it stops and whatever balance the insurance company has, they keep. That's not my favorite way of doing it. We
Well,
rarely use immediate annuities, but I mean they're tools. They can be used. People think, "Well, annuity, those are terrible," but an immediate annuity is similar to when you retire and whatever lump Social Security has, in your record, they immediately turn it
hmm.
into income. It's annuitized. If you have a pension, like Social Security, they're both guaranteed lifetime annuities. You win the lottery and you don't want the little lump, you want the big money they project. They take the little lump, it's given to a life insurance company. It's annuitized. California's, I think it's 26 payments, 26 annual payments. So again, it's or life. And that one, if you die 2 years later, it just stops. But there's a lot of different ways that they can be. And immediate annuities have no risk, no fees, but still, are they right for you is the big question.
Okay. So I know that you were able to spend a little bit of time with them as well. Were there other ways that you were trying to provide it? Was this something that they bought already? Like, can you unwind this, or this
Well,
was a
yeah, good
proposal?
example. I mean, normally we let people know right up front at the workshops that you're going to have questions. That's no problem.
Hmm.
That's good.
Hmm.
But you might ask, like this person did, they asked this question. Well, I was real straightforward in saying, okay, well, that's a good question. Does that make sense for you? So for me to, really give you a good answer, I need to ask a bunch of questions, and probably you don't want to give a bunch of this personal information
In front of a room
in the
of 40
crowd.
people,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, strangers too. So we need to see more of the picture. I mean, it didn't make sense. I mean, afterwards we did talk, and I got some more insight on it, but. If I can't get the whole picture, like where are you going to get the money is one of the, where's it coming from? And it was interesting. I was told, well, just, borrow it out of my home, which are like, what? You're going to take money out of your home and put it into this for, income? I mean, what other
Oh,
accounts and
that's
income
where
do you have?
that's where the other recommendation person said, "Oh, well, where are you going to get this lump sum and to take it out of your home? How in the world in
That
your
was
mid 70s are you
yeah.
supposed to pay this back? It's a loan."
Right. I mean, maybe you get 6,000 a year, but what's it going to cost you monthly payments on that loan? And right there, it's kind of hard to get the details of, okay, so what roughly is your Social Security amount? What do you have any pensions? Do you have any other income from other sources? Roughly,
Mhm.
what do you have in the bank? Checking, savings, CDs. What kind of investments? Do you have any retirement accounts? Do you have additional real estate? That you're renting out. I mean, there's a number of questions, and once we see that whole picture, then we can coach them better. But right there, no, I couldn't get the info, and it's kind of like, and they want to know, is this a good idea or not? And I was like, I don't know. I can't really
Mhm.
give you a proper answer because I have to have more details to be able to, coach you. If I'm part of your family, knowing what I know, I'm going to be asking some questions.
If you were to trip and your ankle is hurting for a couple of days and starting to get really ginger to walk on it,
And swollen.
swollen up, bypass the emergency room. Maybe now we probably can't get in with your primary care, but you go someplace
Urgent care.
urgent care. You go to a doctor's office, say, "Hey, I think I need a cast," or give me a shot. My ankle is killing me right now. There's no real doctor, nurse, primary care who's going to give you recommendation based on what you think is happening. They need to assess your situation. They'll even do something. Your ankle hurts. They're going to take your blood pressure. I've always, as a kid, I was even, why are you taking my blood pressure? It's my ankle that hurts. It's like, they've got to do the whole
Temperature.
they got to do the whole workup. Are you allergic to anything?
They might send you for an X-ray.
Yeah, it might send you for an X-ray.
Yeah.
So it is very common. People, what do you think of this investment? What do you think about turning on Social Security at 62? I don't know. There's a lot of times I think no on that. But hey, maybe your health is failing. Maybe you're having a harder time paying your bills. Maybe you've got a spouse who's going to keep working. Then maybe it is a good idea. But I don't even want to say that over the radio because people say, oh, I heard somebody say it was a good idea. It really depends on you, your specific situation, right, Dale?
Get the picture first. Yeah, we gotta
Get the whole picture.
X-ray your financial picture, so to speak. We don't need your Social Security numbers, account numbers. Just, I mean, if you're comfy, yeah, you can bring statements in. We're not going to copy them. I just, basically, what do you have here? What do you have there? And again, it's after we find out, what you want to be doing, especially in retirement, or doing more of the fun things and,
Mm-hmm.
spoiling the wife, the grandkids, whatever.
To be able to give you a clear picture and a pathway to help you retire your way, we need the entire picture, not just a focused in frame on somewhere in the middle of it or one specific situation or when should I turn on my Social Security. They're all great questions. But to really, truly get a great answer, we've got to sit down with you and go through your situation. And as Dale always says, when you call, you reach out, you come in, there's no cost, there's no obligation. There's no contract. Leave your wallet at home. Hide your credit cards in your purse. Just come on in and have a conversation. Talk with Dale Soutas, your financial advisor right here in California at no cost to you. Call right now. Schedule your time. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Ask for your free retirement review from Soutas Financial. Or if you like, you can schedule your own time at his website, Soutas.com, Soutas.com.
Do you know how much you might be paying in fees within your retirement accounts? Just 1 or 2% in hidden fees can eat into your savings and potentially hinder your ability to achieve your retirement goals. But how do you know if you're currently paying these hidden fees and how do you find them? Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial can help you find the fees within your investments and explore solutions designed to assist with minimizing them. Take control of your retirement savings so that you can work towards keeping more of your hard-earned money. money. Call for your very own complimentary Retire Your Way review and fee finder report. Let us help work towards finding, exposing, and helping to eliminate those potential hidden fees for you. Call Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial today for your complimentary fee review. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
You've heard the phrase, you don't know what you don't know, and we believe it's especially true when it comes to retirement planning. There's a lot of information out there, and it can be overwhelming and confusing. So how do you know what you don't know? Social Security, RMDs, estate planning, investment risk. These are just a few of the many areas that a financial advisor can help you navigate. But what else don't you know when it comes to retirement planning? Are you aware of all of the tax implications of your investments? Do you know how to optimize your Social Security benefits? What about your long-term care and estate planning needs? We believe that by working with a retirement planning advisor, you can uncover potential blind spots in your financial plan and gain a better understanding of your options. Don't let unknown factors potentially derail your retirement. Call Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial to uncover what you may not know about your retirement future and start your complimentary written financial plan. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Or you can write Dale at dale@soutas.com. That's SOUTAS.com.
Stock market losses have you worried? Claim your free portfolio risk report and protection review from financial advisor Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial right now. Call 833-856-1382. If the recent market volatility has you worried about your retirement investments, you're not alone. Right now is the time to take action to protect your investments. Surely markets do not always rise, but if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, you don't have the same time to make up for portfolio losses as you did in your 30s and 40s. Claim your portfolio risk review from Soutas Financial today. Call 833-856-1382 or go to Soutas.com. Your portfolio risk review will provide action steps of what you could do to protect your wealth from current market swings. Get your free portfolio risk review right now. Call Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial at 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382 or Soutas.com. That's SOUTAS.com.
This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. Today, real folks just like you, our listeners who have come in to ask Dale questions, or Dale and his team. I know a lot of folks, sometimes they're, I want you to think about it a little bit. You can think of Dale in a lot of different ways, kind of like your financial doctor's office. He has some people who will help with the intake. And depending on how complicated your situation is, how much we can help, and then you'll meet with Dale. But we have an entire team of folks here to try to help you, whether it's Medicare solutions, your income planning, investments, estate planning as well. I actually was kind of going there for a reason, because the next couple you were going to talk about was somebody who was, I think they were about to move out of the state. They love the taxes here in California. No, I think it's that they wanted to be. I think
they have
They
family.
have family, yeah. Exactly. They wanted to be closer to family somewhere. So this recent couple, I think he was about 67. She was around 65. Tell me about him. What did you learn about him?
Well, they're a wonderful couple. I've visited with them now at least 3 times, and we're talking about their different accounts and what they need to be retired. They've already completed a monthly spending sheet in detail, and they have it saved so they can update it along the way as they, retire and then move and finally get settled. But regardless, I get the whole picture of where they're at, showing them how to make sure their money will last and pay the bills and be able to do the things they want to do. That's our goal. And what's interesting, unfortunately, one of their parents passed away recently, and that's the bad news, but they did inherit some money and accounts. So some of the questions sometimes people have, well, I'm inheriting this account, maybe it's with Fidelity or, Morgan Stanley, Schwab, whoever. And some of it actually is an IRA, so he'll have to, take that out over the next 10 years completely. But a bigger portion was not an IRA. So the questions are, what kind of tax am I going to have to pay on this? And the beauty of when I finally boil it down, she had the brokerage account in a trust. So when she died, the amount going to the beneficiaries, they get a stepped up basis. And what in the world does that mean, right? So in essence, if mom bought something at 100,000 and it's worth 500,000 now when she dies, the kids don't have to pay capital gains tax on that $400,000 of gain. They get a step up to 500,000 if they take their share of that and just take it out right then. Well, in other words, that's their new basis. If they sell that 500,000, it comes to them tax free. If they take over the account, then from when she passed away until the future time when they finally sell some or all of it, that's the little bit of gain they might have to pay capital gains on. So just like a house, you buy it for 50,000, they die, it's worth 550,000. The whole 550,000 in this example would be tax-free if they sold it and divvy out the cash. Yet the IRA that they inherit, sorry, Uncle Sam doesn't let you get a step up. So every penny coming out of that will be taxable. So how to strategize, taking that out along with, say starting Social Security, and if they have pensions, how to mix that in and keep their taxes as low as possible over the next 10 years is smart too. So, it's interesting the questions that come up that we deal with day in, day out, but most people, they have very, complicated careers, and don't ask me to do what you're doing. I'd mess it up in a heartbeat. But we do know how to coach you this way. And sometimes they think, well, I inherited all this money, it's going to be taxable. And sometimes it's the reverse. I inherited all this money, I could just willy-nilly spend it and not worry about it, and not realizing that some of it might have been an IRA, and then you get a 1099 next year on all that you took out and spent, and it could be shocking. But so understanding the money, the types of money, how to properly, take it and make it work for you and your future. That's what we do, again, day in, day out.
Absolutely. I mean, oh my gosh. This is somebody and a couple, they were about to, I think, also set up like kind of like legal restraints. Were they talking about putting together in a trust for this state, or
well, yeah, I mean,
they're going to be moving out of state? Do they want to put together a trust for this state?
Well, okay. The question or the statement he made was, I need to get this, this money into a trust as soon as possible. And I'm looking, okay, now hang on a minute.
Sounds responsible.
No, it's good. I mean, he had a good idea. See, a trust is just a fancy will, to put it simply. And whatever assets are in your trust, if you both die, let's say you're married and you both die, those assets pass to whomever you name as beneficiaries in the trust without going to the state's probate system and so on. And if it's a home, if it's a brokerage account, obviously they get a stepped up basis. Please understand, do not put your IRAs going to your trust as if the trust is a beneficiary, because under the way the taxes work, if the family doesn't understand how to deal with those funds promptly and properly, those IRA funds could be taxed at 37% or whatever the highest marginal rate is down the road. So there's proper ways of doing it. But I pointed out, you're planning to, next year sell the home, move out of state. So that's when you need your new trust set up in that state, because different states have different trust rules. Okay. In the meantime, you're checking your savings, your CDs, your investments that are non-IRA in this inherited money. As long as you name beneficiaries on these accounts, there's no probate if you die. Now, it's smart not just have each other, husband, wife, but who else are your beneficiaries if something happens to both of you? If you have kids, maybe it's the kids. It could also be charities. So as long as you have your beneficiaries properly set up on these accounts, they don't go through probate. So, which helped him understand he didn't have to jump through hoops to get a trust set up today.
Yeah, and trying to understand this better, it wasn't setting up an extra layer of protection by wanting to put together a trust? You're saying it's actually not a recommended idea to put something like an IRA or a 401k and name that into the trust? Like, just do that straight up with beneficiary, but make sure you review your beneficiary designations. But you're saying with a trust on certain kinds of accounts, you're actually overdoing it?
Well, yeah, anything tax deferred. Okay, so when you have a 401k, TSP, 403b, IRA, and you know, that money is tax deferred. Or if you put $100,000 into a fixed or some kind of annuity that's not necessarily an IRA annuity, it's not, you know, just had 100,000 savings, you decide to use an annuity for some reason. Great. That tax deferred interest is tax deferred, obviously tax deferred. But tax deferred money going to the trust, it's not a person. So Uncle Sam treats it more like a corporation. So it can be taxed at whatever the highest marginal rate is. Like today, it's 37%. So
my gosh.
we have to title things.
Be really doing it, but something bad for yourself or for whoever's going to be inheriting that by putting it into the trust. Oh my gosh.
Well, and sometimes people think, you know, they get their trust set up and the attorney will say, here's the sheet, go have your various accounts titled in your trust. So they're, you know, in the trust, you're still the trustees in control, blah, blah, blah. And it goes to the kids or wherever you name in the trust. Okay, fine. That sounds wonderful. But when you transfer, let's say your IRA, 401k or whatever tax deferred account into the trust, those retirement accounts, you make those accounts taxable for that year you put it into the trust because it's not a person. You can't, for instance, you have a retirement account. You know, I just had somebody recently, we're rolling some of their 401k into an IRA. And so the question came up for the husband, so you need my info too to set up the account in our names? I said, no, it has to stay in just her name. If we put it in joint, you know, both names, it'll make that all taxable. So understand how to keep things separate, keep things from,
tiny nuances,
you know, messing up your taxes and all that too.
Wow. And you just might not know what you don't know, folks. I get it. Putting together a trust. Oh, and by the way, so they were talking about moving out of state. Better idea for them to put together this trust when they get to their new state. The vice versa here. Have you moved to California and you have a trust, or your parents have a trust or something like that that's out of state?
Oh, yeah.
Have everything reviewed, because different states go by different law. Correct, Dale? We're going to have to go out to break here. But if you've got something from out of state, do you need to have that reviewed by you or an attorney?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to start with us so we can coach you what to say to the attorney and what to do. I mean, you know, we're not the attorneys. We don't, you know.
No, but you can tell them and maybe shorten the amount of time that's going to have you pay to be in their office.
People come and sit down with me, and we tell each other stories and really get acquainted. They don't want to do that with the attorney because then ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 ding. You're getting paid by the hour. Yeah, by the minute.
Second almost, yeah.
So come on in and have a 3-hour conversation with Dale Soutas. No cost to you, no cost to him. 833-856-1382. Look, estate planning is important. Maybe you've been putting it off, or maybe you think you're protecting your family by actually doing it, but maybe have a conversation with somebody who does this, at least has these conversations thousands of times in his career. Your financial advisor, Dale Soutas, not going to charge you by the hour, not going to charge you, period. Come on in, have that conversation. We can tell you what you do and don't need to do with your estate planning. Again, 833-856-1382 is that phone number. More Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial right after this.
Are you worried that you waited too late to start your retirement planning? That you waited too late to start saving? At Soutas Financial, we believe it's never too late to start planning for your future. We can help you develop a personalized retirement plan that is tailored to your current needs and goals. The team at Soutas Financial will sit down with you and provide an evaluation of your current path, including your investment strategy, tax planning, and risk management approach. We'll help you identify potential areas for improvement and work with you to create a retirement plan that is designed to help you work towards having financial security and peace of mind in retirement. It's not too late for you to get started with Soutas Financial. Call us today to schedule your complimentary retirement planning session. We believe we can help you get on the path to financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial to get started on your own complimentary written financial plan. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial, and we've got real people, real questions, real scenarios, but we protect the names
To protect the guilty.
To protect the guilty.
Isn't that
no, we
how
don't.
the show
We're
went?
not going to air anybody's dirty laundry out there.
No.
But these are real questions. This is real, folks. Again, end of one of Dale's live events. We love this question. It is a very common question. If it is in your mind, you're going to be like, yeah, I side with this person at first. So look, he was 70 or 71, something like that. His wife was 2 or 3 years younger. And he says, I understand what you're talking about with Roth conversions. And folks, a Roth conversion is converting some of your tax deferred investment savings, paying the tax on it, continuing to let it grow. But now then when you take that money out years later, not only do you not have to pay tax on the principal, but then any growth. So yeah, it's a strategy for a timeline, probably at least 5 years, if not 10 years, maybe even 15. So a person who was 70 said, I understand what you're saying about doing Roth conversions. I'm never going to spend through everything that we have. Me and my spouse, there's no way. We live fine. House is paid off. We're doing okay. Is there any reason for me in my 70s to do a Roth conversion? It just doesn't seem to make sense to me.
That's an excellent question because you think about a Roth conversion. We were told, a lot of us over the many, few decades were told throw as much as you can into your 401ks and your 403bs, and your TSPs, whatever, and lower your taxes today while you're working. Oh, it's exciting. You go and I just saved a couple $1,000s because I put so much into my. You're diverting part of your taxable income into an account, and you're not paying any tax on that money you put into that account. It grows and grows without you getting a 1099 on the interest or the growth. But way down the road, every penny you take out of what you put in and all that growth, you have to take out and pay taxes on. So when we throw money into retirement accounts, we're doing two things. We're deferring the taxes on that income. But the part that you really need to stop and think about is you're deferring the taxes to a later tax calculation. And like the Power of Zero movie says, let that sink in, because if you truly believe tax rates are going to go up like 99.9% of everybody I ask says, oh, yeah, they're going to be up higher 5, 10, 20 years. Well, why are you saving tax at this low tax rate to eventually pay tax on a larger amount of money, because it should grow, right, at a higher tax rate or tax calculation? So with this one who's in his early 70s, maybe you don't really need at 73 or 75. If he's 70 now, he'd be his minimums would be at 73. People born in 1960 or later, they don't have to start taking a minimum distribution, what we call RMD, required minimum distribution, until age 75. But why would it be wise is, especially if he really doesn't need that RMD, he's going to have to take it out. He can't be stubborn. Well, he could and not take it out.
No, you pay the penalty, 25%.
Yeah, 25%. It used to be 50. They lovingly dropped it down to 25%. So put numbers to that. If his minimum was $10,000 for that year and he didn't take it, and he finally takes it out, he's going to pay tax on the $10,000, and on top of that tax, he has to pay $2,500 in a penalty. So it doesn't pay to be stubborn. So there are ways to divert the RMD to like a charity. In other words, have it made out to a charity, and you've met the minimum, you pay zero tax on it. But let's talk about why would it be wise to convert some or all of that base, even though maybe we take, we convert portions at a time while tax rates are so low, or we like to say taxes are on sale right now. Did you know that? It's been extended, these tax rates, but likely in, 2029, some new administration could, lobby to have the tax rates start going back up. But regardless, so think about they're married now. They're in the lowest tax rates being a married couple. If whatever he can convert to Roth, number one, there won't be a minimum distribution down the road, and all the growth grows without you paying taxes on it, and you don't even pay taxes on it when you take the earnings off of that Roth down the road as well. But more importantly, if he passes away, his wife's going to go to the high single tax rates. And if she's going to get the higher of the two Social Securities, let's say he has a pension and it's set up to continue to her, she might have a similar income, close to the same as now, but now instead of, let's say, 12 or 22% bracket, she might be in the 24 or higher tax bracket. So why would it be wise to convert? Because if she has to still take money out, she might have to take it out at a higher tax rate too. So there's a number of reasons to look at getting Uncle Sam out of that tax-deferred money. And what I would encourage people to do, check out our website, Soutas.com. Look at the movie tab. There's two movies that have like 2-minute trailers. Check out the trailer for the Power of Zero movie.
And then the other one is Spider-Man.
Yeah, right.
No.
It's a baby boomer dilemma. It's very close to Spider-Man, I think.
Yes, the Power of Zero.
Power of Zero. The wonderful thing about the Power of Zero, in fact, it was fun. A few weeks ago for our staff meeting, I said, okay, everybody, and we played that movie for the staff so they understand, what we're educating. And I'll tell you what, especially the younger staff members, they're like, wow, that's scary. And it is, but it helps you understand how to get Uncle Sam out of your retirement savings, especially if it's tax deferred, and how to coach ones to stop deferring the taxes and use tax-free vehicles. It's a wonderful movie, and if you like what you see on the trailer, just let us know. We'll give you your own copy of that movie free of charge. So,
oh man, fantastic. Well, what I'm curious, what did the staff think? What were some?
Oh yeah, that was fun. Well, Katya, who's been with me 10.5 years, she was like, wow, that was scary, and. Well, they're young, and they're realizing, hey, tax rates are going to be much higher down the road in their retirement, likely than they are for, old people like Spike and other old people.
Hey.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, no, it was very eye-opening. I mean, they were taking notes and stuff as they went through it too. But
I mean, you've got some people who are younger than me and you in the office. Any of them go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I want to start saving. This is because I want to let listeners know this was eye-opening to me when I started hearing not just about Roth conversions, but about Roth 401ks. I tell everybody out there, I switched completely over a decade ago. Now, this might not work for your taxes. You might not want to pay this much in tax, but I started putting 100% of my contributions in over a decade ago, and I'm thrilled that I did. Yes. Every April, I usually need, one adult beverage, after I go in and I mail off my taxes after having them prepared. And it's a little rough. You go, oh, okay. But I know it's done with. It's over. All of the growth, the time. Now, going back to it, though, the beginning of the question was, he's 70 or 71. Is it worth it for him to start doing Roth conversions? Now, maybe some. How about if he lives until 88, 89, 90 for him alone?
Well, definitely. But likely she's the one that's going to live into that, and she's going to be at the higher tax rate. So, yeah, many times, yes, it absolutely does make sense to do it. I mean, pay taxes while you know what the rates are. Don't hope, they'll be low way down the road, because that's not going to happen. The national debt, if you go, what is that website? US Debt Clock.
USDebtClock.org.
.org, yeah, USDebtClock.org. Unfortunately, the new administration took the bottom line off of that page. They're putting something else there, but you could see the numbers spinning, and I think the official, not the real, but the official national debt's closing in on 40 trillion. The real national debt's probably closing in closer to 240 trillion, of which they're not showing that part anymore. That includes all these unfunded liabilities and stuff, like everybody else has to show. But bottom line, pay the taxes while they're low. And as we do the Roth conversions, do as much as you can, as fast as you can. It's like that Band-Aid on a hairy arm or whatever, and you don't just pull it off really slow and feel the pain. You rip it off as fast as you can. It'll sting, but it goes away quicker. So same with
on the other
Roth
hand, with that terrible analogy, I would also say that you can rip off the Band-Aid quickly, but you can do a little bit over time. Dale is not saying that you need to convert everything or you need to pay everything all at once. But here's the point. So let's say you're in the 22% tax bracket. There's, I think, $150,000 worth of room between that bracket. So from your salary, depending if you're married or filing jointly or if you're solo filing on your own, there's room in between there. Now, if you're at the very, very top of the bracket, you probably might not want to do a lot. It all depends on where you're at. But here's the thing. In talking with Dale all day long, as you can tell through our hour-long program, everybody's situation is different. Everybody's solution is going to be a little bit different. And unfortunately, we've got to apply it to you, your goals, your tax bracket, your savings, your job, and what you are trying to do. So we encourage your questions. We want your questions. I want you to flood Dale's inbox with questions. One of the ways you can do that, write them all the questions you want to at info@soutas.com. That's info, the @ symbol, and then SOUTAS.com. Write Dale your question. You can leave your name out if you want to. We'll read it on the air and we'll try to answer it for you. You can also call the phone number. We'll answer the questions in person with you. 833-856-1382 is that phone number. Call it. Ask for your free portfolio income tax estate planning review with your financial advisor right here in California, Dale Soutas. Thank you for listening to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas. I'm Spike. We'll both be back again next week.
Comments regarding a particular client's experiences and outcomes may or may not be the same as another client's experience and could differ substantially, and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration or any U.S. government agency. A Roth conversion may not be suitable for your situation. The primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. The information provided is to help you determine whether or not a Roth IRA conversion may be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Please review your retirement savings, tax, and estate/legacy planning strategies with your legal/tax advisor to be sure a Roth IRA conversion fits into your planning strategies.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, Foundations, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal is converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Comments regarding a particular client's experience may or may not be the same as another client's experience and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Foundations only transacts business in those jurisdictions where it's properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio, or securities or investment strategy is suitable for any specific person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and estate legacy planning strategies with a legal tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategies discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not in any way refer to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan available in your area, and contacting us at the phone numbers provided herein will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all your options. All rights reserved.